Are you a photographer? Are you a photographer who uses film? No wrong answers here. Even if you only bought one for a class, you were holding a piece of history. Chances are you probably bought your camera from eBay or even a refurbishing store. These are so valuable, and the fact they still exist in this digital age should be celebrated. If you're feeling bored by film, then this video is just the thing you need. Film photography has a rich history dating back to 1827, and I still feel it's important to keep its legacy alive, and souping or using expired films are two great ways to combine the old with the new. Let's go back in history a little bit. The first camera was the camera obscura, and its first photo was in 1827. Chances are you know what this picture was. That's right, a chicken coop. How cute! How dark! This photo was created by Joseph Niepce. A lot of time has passed, and technology has gotten a lot better. And this takes us to 1892. During this year, the oldest film camera was invented by William Dixon. This was named the kinetograph. Moving forward a little bit takes us to our first 35mm camera. We are now in the year 1913. Oscar Bonnick invented the Leica prototypes. This camera would set a standard for years and years to come, and would revolutionize photography. No offense to the cameras that came before, but these babies were small and portable. Additionally, unlike modern cameras, film cameras are made to withstand the tale of time. Remember guys, metal, good, plastic, bad. Now that we know some history, let's move on. Let's talk about soup. So, souping film refers to soaking the film in various liquids to purposely mess with the chemicals in the emulsion to create some various cool visual effects. But it can be kind of hard to get it developed. Most film labs don't want to take it because it's really messy, and it could ruin the really expensive materials. Of course, you can always develop your film at home, but it takes a bit of extra time and thinking because you need to have proper ventilation to make it safe, so this is why most people choose to do expired film. But if you do decide to soup your film, some liquids you can use are wine, tea, simple boiling water, lemonade, and even soda. Next, we'll talk about expired film. It's usually done with color film because it leads to more variation, and it's also good to pay attention to what year it expired. Expired by 10 years, you overexpose the film by one stop. A good way to do this is to trick your camera into thinking the film is less sensitive, because it is. Basically, if the film says shoot with an ISO of 400, if you bump it down to 200, the camera's like, uh-oh, I gotta overcompensate, which actually helps in this case. So now that you know about the two processes, I really want to show you guys some examples, just so it helps to kind of connect the dots a little bit and show you why I love these alternative processes so much. First, I want to talk about Ella Morton. She soups 4x5 negatives and photoplays with the emulsion by lifting certain sections off purposefully. Here are some photos from her series, The Dissolving Landscape, that was done in 2016 through 2021. It's a series that examines climate change in the landscapes of Canada and Nordic Europe. The project asks the question, what are we losing in terms of our spiritual connection to the land as the climate changes rapidly? I included her because she turns an alternate process into a way to express herself. Without all these mods, her photographs would be completely different. And when asked why she messes with the film, she says it is to shock. She says, the warping of the film through these processes emphasizes the complex relationship humans have with the landscape, which involves awe, admiration, and exploitation. Next up is Miles Mayoskoff Harris. And I feel he does a great job bringing light to not only film, but an alternative process. On his website, he states, anyways, I started documenting my film photography journey on social media. I began experimenting with even more weird and wonderful cameras and film, and it seemed that people found it interesting. He turned his hobby into a business and runs the Expired Film Club Instagram, website, and YouTube channel. I chose to include Miles because he's really inspiring to me. He took a hobby and turned it into a lifelong passion of inspiring others and making it easier to get a hold of expired film. On his website, he'll sell like little bundles of film, which is really cool. Lastly, I wanted to show you some photos that I've been taking this quarter. I've been using expired film, and I love the unpredictable aspect. And I honestly love my phone camera in general because it teaches me patience. I don't get that dopamine hit immediately. I have to let it be and wait for my film to be developed. Adding the additional aspect of having expired film just seemed perfect. 2 variables leads to even more surprises. I did feel it's important to discuss some controversy to these alternative methods of processing. Basically, souped film is an experimental technique. People feel that it's immature or naive even. I mean, you are tossing film into random chemicals and hoping for the best. But other people feel that expired film is useless or even a waste of time. It isn't predictable and you have no idea of knowing what you shot will be good. This can be frustrating because if you capture a once-in-a-lifetime photo only for the colors to be off, or overexposed or underexposed, it can be pretty upsetting. Gabe says, much to my disappointment, when I got the shots back, they were dark, really dark, unusably dark. Each frame was so tinged with a blue and brown hue, and a grainy structure, so coarse I would have been better if I had shot using a burlap sack. That's a pretty strong opinion. My main point though is that those are all opinions. I don't feel there's a wrong way to take a photo unless you don't take any photos. Experimenting is a huge part in an artist's life, and we would never be where we were without experiments, failures, and eventually successes. Like I say, most of the controversy I see is based on opinions. But even so, these words can hurt and they can harm. This hate can have lasting issues. Imagine if that stopped someone from picking up a film camera entirely. Another great reason to use expired film is to reduce waste. If no one used these rolls, think about a lost opportunity. Samuel Beckett's mantra is try again, fail better. And that's really what I'm trying to bring forward. I just feel life is too short to always play by the rules and be strict. It's great to have fun and share one's passions with others, young and old. Since you chose to buy a film camera, you're preserving history and doing what I feel is something great. Our photo ancestors worked too hard just for photos to be lost in a digital world. Additionally, learning how to develop film is keeping tradition alive. Even if we don't develop the film ourselves, this goes past us, and by sending films into labs, we are keeping jobs open for people who love photos just as much as we do.